David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Spoke the other day about, obviously, red zone would be a focus this week. How does that materialize in practice when you focus on, is it you add a session, do you add snaps within a session or over two, how do you go about it?
Well, I mean, our practice, plan, except for the week, I mean, you tweak it really more based off the health of your football team has been my approach. So, I mean, that's something that you look at Tuesday night. We actually met with the coordinators and the staff again this morning. So we've done that. We have a segment in Thursday's practice that has flexibility to be a situational focal point, so that gives us an opportunity to add. But yeah, we're not, I mean, I think the reality of the red zone, I think we have to look at all the numbers. I think clearly the fact that we've been down there 15 times, it's the best in the National Football League. So that's, in my experience, that's been the hard part. So clearly the stat that we're all talking about is the touchdown conversions, the efficiency. So we need to clearly be better than that. And the question was asked the other day about the red zone being number one in the league last year. I mean, we were 4 for 6 at this point last year. So 15-6, I'll take that over. We've actually scored more touchdowns down here. So it's a blinking light. As I told the team today, we're 3 games in. Stats clearly don't tell the story, but they give you things you need to look at. And we got 3 blinking lights as a football team right now, particularly because of Arizona. Team penalties, red zone offense, and run defense. So they've been highlighted, they've been coached, but we are on to the plan to beat New England. So that's really where our focus is, and this is an excellent challenge, and it's different than the challenge we had on Sunday. We are past Sunday.
Clarence Hill, 4-Star Telegram. And speaking of the run defense, obviously you'll be facing Zeke this week. Do you expect, what have you seen from Zeke and the type of player he's been in New England, and how do you expect New England to attack your run defense?
Well, I mean, I think just like anything, you are what you put on film. So I think, based on how people tried to attack us in weeks 1, 2, and 3, from that, we'll see some similarity, as far as concept, formation, utilization, but Zeke's always been, a powerful, strong runner. So we definitely would not be surprised if he's a featured player this week.
Mike Archer of the ESPN, your offensive linemen, do you expect any of them to be the 3 guys that did play?
It's going to take the week really for that, but Tyron, Zack, and Tyler will be in the rehab group today. So,
John. John Michaud, The Athletic. I'm just wondering if you could give us an update now. You've been around Trey Lance for a month. What's he been able to do? I know he's worked a little bit before the games with Scott and that, but what has he been able to do?
well, I mean, he's works in practice, just like everything else. I mean, Cooper takes the majority of the reps, but he's getting reps in the look team. Really hunkering down on the language. That's always the biggest challenge for anybody coming in there, especially the quarterback, because he has to command it, he has to speak it. So the fact that he's getting it, call plays in the huddle and on top of taking the look team reps is part of his process. So, I mean, he does everything. I mean, he's part of the quarterback school, so he's putting in the extra hours. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing.
Mike, Belichick earlier this week mentioned that, Micah was very complimentary of Micah, said not quite Lawrence Taylor. I know your time with Lawrence Taylor didn't cross over in the NFL much, but what are is there anything that reminds you of those 2 players? Is there any parallels there?
Yeah, I mean, I never was on the field with Lawrence, Lawrence Taylor. I got in '93, and I think it was near the end of his career. I do remember being at the Pro Bowl in '93, but yeah, I just think, hey, it's just like anything. I mean, Lawrence Taylor and Coach Belichick would know better than anybody, but a phenomenal player. I think just the fact as a young player that Micah is, and he has put excellent tape out there to even be mentioned in that realm, I think is a huge compliment.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. When we talk about the run defense, I know you guys have a rotation in the interior line. Is any thoughts of maybe we need to change some things with our personnel? Maybe give Mozzie more snaps or fewer snaps for Hankins and things of that nature?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I clearly understand where you're coming from, but yeah, that's all part of the game plan process and how we feel like they're going to come after us. And hey, it's week 4. I mean, there's going to be some in-game adjustments, and it's really the way it always is when you compete against New England. I would say they're most adverse as far as game plan specific for each and every week. They don't normally line up week to week and run the same concepts. So But yeah, they'll have a tailored attack for us, and we will be attacking also, but we'll be adjusting accordingly.
Brad.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio. Mike, do you expect Tyron Smith to work at more than one position this week?
I don't want to answer those questions, but yeah. Thanks.
Clarence.
Getting back to the center position, you added a center to the practice squad. You just talk about that decision.
Yeah, Billy, just, Will and the staff, Jerry and Steven, just, talking on Monday, just, always looking to add. So, I mean, he's a good addition. He's played a lot of football. He arrived, late yesterday, so I had to work out, and he was in the meeting, so glad he's here.
I don't know if that spoke to Tyler's availability. I know Tyron Smith missed 2 weeks with a hamstring strain, and I don't know if that spoke to what you expect from Tyler. Be honest.
Just working through it, yeah.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio, the Patriots rookie cornerback Christian Gonzalez. What did y'all see when you were looking at him when he was coming out, and how are they utilizing
I mean, definitely an excellent prospect coming out, and I think he's off to a very good start to his career. I've been very impressed with his tape. He's extremely athletic. He's doing a good job with his hands and eyes, playing their style of defense. So I've been very impressed with his play so far.
Following up on that, when they have him travel or match up with some of the guys, as they've done the first few weeks, does he have the ability to play inside as well, or are there some cornerbacks?
Yeah, I mean, he's as a matchup player in their system. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he follows CD, and if he's going to do that, then obviously he'll be playing some inside.
Bree.
Bree Marantha, Sports Illustrated Fan Nation. Rico Dowdle got his first NFL touchdown on Sunday. What has impressed you about him, or maybe stands out from the other running backs?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I was glad just to see him get the opportunities, because I mean what he's been through, with the injuries and so forth, and he's had a great offseason again, excellent training camp. But number one, to see him get opportunities, because I've always loved his running style, and I think that was clearly evident, this past Sunday. And the thing I've been most impressed with is I would say the consistency of his pass protection, but his ability to break tackles. He broke a number of tackles. I mean, I think on a screen play alone, I think he broke 5 tackles. So, but Rico's done a really nice job with his opportunities.
Todd.
Mike, back on Trey Lance, are there things that you have the third quarterback do during the week that help them get up to speed and accustomed to, with a new guy? How do you work that?
Yeah, I think clearly, the fact that the third quarterback has responsibilities, in the quarterback room, projects and things, and that's all part of it. But I mean, let's be honest, the timing of his arrival, transition, you have to have time for that. So I mean, he's putting in the extra hours, and that's really the biggest focus, is really getting him to learn the offense, terminology-wise, the changes as far as the footwork's fitting the concepts, things like that. So, he's doing everything we're asking him to do.
In the limited work that he's had, how has he done?
He's doing well. I mean, he's doing well. I mean, he's obviously, I'm glad he's here. That's for sure. I think it was a great addition, and he's someone that has he has a lot of potential. Looking forward to continue to grow with him.
Michael Galkin, Dallas Morning News. On Monday, Dan told us that he felt the defense got away from looking like itself. It's probably a better question asked after his first practice, but how have you seen the defense just kind of respond in terms of just getting back to playing sort of defense that is more like identity?
I think the biggest thing is, mindset, the emotional approach. That was clearly evident Monday. I mean, we felt, that was an opportunity that we didn't, take advantage of, but you have the opportunity to clean up on Monday and do some things today. But we have a standard that we've set throughout our football team, and I look at us in year 3 of the program. I know it's year 4, but just the things, the way we've grown and the way we're playing. But we didn't play this standard, and that's our self-evaluation, and that's really a big part of our focus this week.
David.
You talked before about knowing that Tony Pollard was ready to take more of a role, an elite role, and he could handle the workload. Have you seen any difference in him as far as how he embraces that, how he's doing with it, or is it just his natural evolution here?
Absolutely. I mean, because going back to Zeke, I mean, everybody has tremendous amount of respect for Zeke. He was a great teammate. Still very close with all those guys. Tony first and foremost. Tony's a good teammate. Respects the hierarchy of veterans, and Zeke and Tony had an excellent working relationship when they were here. There was always a lot of love between those guys, but. Tony's the lead. He's the lead dog in the room now. So, and it's been great to see him take that responsibility. And I've been very impressed with him. As far as questions in the group meetings, questions in the protection meetings, speaking up. He's on top of his craft, which he always was. But he's a great example for our young players.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.